So today's was going to be a different sort of everyday show, but I'm having to do this on my phone, which is perfect for the title of the video, which is when the unexpected happens. So today I'm obviously on my phone because this morning my phone decided to break. So the screen decided to break, and because I've got kids and whatever else, I've had to get the phone fixed. So I was basically spent the best part of 3 hours today trying to get my phone fixed, which I think lends really well into a topic of the show. So this is my commitment to doing a show every single day, no matter how many people out there watch the show. So welcome. If you've never been here before, I'm John, and this is Stammererthe. So basically what we do here is we talk about anything to do with having a stammer. I love technology and I also love to run as well. So today is the afternoon. The time is it here is nearly 3 o'clock. So I'm just basically sat in the car. I should really be at home doing this. I should have done this earlier today. So the title is When the Unexpected Happens, which I think lends itself really well. So as a person who has a stammer, and I don't know about you guys, is I hate unexpected. So when things are unexpected, so for example, if you're out and about and somebody talks to you, or somebody asks you your name, or you get put in a situation that you are not expected, that it really impacts speech. So for example, today, not expected to jump out in the car and spend 3 hours out and about in the shops. Now, one of the things to really note is that people who have a stammer, obviously one of the things, or a couple of the things I can speak from my experience, I don't know about you, is when people unexpectedly ask me my name. Now, trying to get that across to people who don't have a stammer or anything to do with that kind of thing, somebody just coming up to you and asking you your name can cause a lot of embarrassment and a lot of stress, particularly for me early doors. Now I'm perfectly fine, and a good example of that is for example, if you're in Starbucks, right? So of all the coffee shops in the world, places like, if you go to a Costa, really good, but if you go to a Starbucks, they're insistent on asking you your name. Now again, this is really something I can't really get it across if you don't have a stammer and you don't get embarrassed by these sort of things. So it's the kind of thing that plays on your mind. Now, if you kind of know and you like to go to Starbucks, you can almost gear yourself up to be asked your name, and but it's just, if you don't know places like Starbucks still kind of ask you your sort of name, so you kind of feel as if you kind of have to sort of do it. And there has been times where I've given a fake name or a name that I can say. Again, I went into Starbucks today just to kill some time, and perfectly fine. Now the other scenario is if you're out and about, and receipts now. So UK wise, when you get asked for a email receipt. Now my name's John, and like for the longest time, kind of like J's and that kind of stuff was a little bit of a tricky scenario to sort of navigate, if you like. So again, if you're not expecting that and you get asked your email address, or anything when you're asked a question and you're not too sure, not that you're not sure, but if you're not expecting, because you personally, with me, when I'm not fluent, I liken it to you kind of getting ready for like a race, and you kind of trying to gear yourself up so you can already preemptively gear what you're going to say, and then you're able to say it. Not all of the time, but for me personally, when I'm fluent, as of now, perfectly fine. But when I'm not, and I can feel myself not, I like to take a sprint up to the word, and I liken it to when you try to run up a hill. So you're trying to gear yourself up, and you're trying to get there, and then you manage to just get up to that point, and then you kind of then come tumbling back down to earth. So the unexpected, I believe personally for me, is the enemy of a stammerer. Um, and I guess I've always been the same. I like to know what I'm walking into. And if I don't, and somebody just kind of catches me off guard, yeah, that's kind of a position that I don't like to be in. So today was one of those kind of unexpected days where I knew I'd have to faff around, have to go in, have to book in for the phone, when you basically have to go into the shop, and they ask you your name and that kind of stuff. Now, as I say, I'm going in through a period right now of fluency. My fluency has kind of been up for the last couple of years, but really in the last maybe the last year to 2 years, because of the job that I do, talking really helps. So I'm kind of fluent, but it just takes me back a couple of years ago when I wasn't as fluent as I am now. And again, it's so difficult, and this is why it's important, like in yesterday's show where we're talking about the media, and it's people just don't know. And I think you should be curious about asking questions, and I'd love to know what people think if you stammer, if you don't have a stammer. I'd really love to know what questions that you like to ask, when you walk into a shop or you order a meal or anything in regards to speaking. Like when you order a coffee or a particular type of coffee, or you order a particular kind of meal. Imagine going into a coffee shop or going into somewhere to have a meal, and you really want something, and you've been planning it, and you can't ask for that. Now, there's been years where I'd go into a place, or like a Costa or wherever it is, and before they had the machines there, and they'd kind of like ask you, and I'd only ever order the thing that I could say. So the reason why my coffee's pretty much black now, because I've accustomed to the taste of that, is basically because it's the only thing that I could say. So it's pretty sad, but kind of funny in some respects. But it is, to me, I don't find the whole part of that is funny. But when I look back now, and that anxiety is always there. I don't think that anxiety ever leaves you, particularly in circumstances where the unexpectedness of a situation still gives me that anxiety. But now I've kind of learned to try to accept it for what it is, and kind of try to deal with the situation. But that only really comes with age, only really comes with experience. And I think I'm very fortunate, and some of it through sort of hard work now, and I think having kids, kind of putting yourself into those situations, really do help. They don't help at the time because it causes you to stammer, it causes you anxiety. And I think the worst part of unexpected, and the very nature of that, is that it causes you anxiety. And it's not necessarily the stammer part. I think it's how it makes you feel. It's that whole anxiety piece, it's that whole embarrassment piece, and it isn't comfortable. And I just don't think the person that has a stammer, or the person that will stammer, and then it gets exacerbated because you stammer, and then you feel embarrassed, and then that it impacts fluency, which causes more blocks, which inevitably means that you're kind of more thinking about the situation, potentially how awkward it is as well. Now, stammering, whether people like it or not, can be awkward, and it's allowing that person time to speak. I think that's what, for me personally, which I always found difficult, was if people don't know, then I always feel like they're trying to hurry you along. So in my mind, they might be perfectly fine, but uncomfortable with giving you that time to talk and get out your words. But in my mind, I was always particularly kind of in the industry or the work that I was in, where people just want you to get your words out. They don't give you that time. So today was one of those kind of days whereby I was kind of looking back and kind of thinking that um, this would be kind of one of my kind of worst days. Automatically, I get I am anxious, but that's kind of soon goes. But it's really interesting how even now at 42 years old, even with the depth of experience that I've now gained and got, with the fluency, touch wood, right now, that I've managed to get, it's amazing how I can still look back in those experiences that have shaped me. Unexpected things that happen, and it's still really impactful. So I can only imagine what it's like for younger people who stammer, um, people who haven't necessarily been as fortunate as me to be able to have opportunities to increase fluency. Um, I guess with the stammer that I've got, because stammering is not just one or two; it's a sort of whole region, like a big line of how we all stammer. Um, and I'm kind of at a scale right now whereby mine seems to be fluent. It might not be next year, it might not be next week, but I feel really fortunate to being able to kind of look back today on it and go, and really think about those people that struggle every day still, those people who have yet to come, who are younger, who are, kids, but who will have to step into this world. Um, and I just think that we need to make the unexpected situations that will happen. I just believe we need to make people more comfortable. I'm not blind to see that we can't accommodate everybody based on a situation, but today was kind of just hit home to me how today could have been a really stressful, really sort of more embarrassing situation, not caused because I'm embarrassed to have a stammer, or because you should be, but just because there are not enough measures. I don't think there are not enough spaces, particularly when people go to the shops, for them to kind of feel comfortable, just to be them. And the reason why I say that is because there are so many people that have a stammer. There's so many people who feel like that. I mean, there are 81 million people, and I'm going to keep banging on about this as much as I can. 81 million people around the world that has a stammer. So that's 1 in 100 people. So what are we in this country? Like 70 million people. So what's that, about 10% less than that? So about a million people, roughly, I think it is. So there's a million people strong, um, who have a stammer here alone, possibly more than that. So there definitely needs to be more spaces, more support, and definitely more um, opportunities for people to just be them, really. So yeah, so that was a stressful day today, but I managed to get through it. I wanted to get a video out as I'm sat in a car park, talking to you guys. I wanted to. This is my commitment, to doing something every day. The topic has changed today. I was going to do something else. I'll probably be back in the studio tomorrow to record something again. I'm not sure what time. I'm trying to aim for 10 a.m. But we will see on that one. So I really hope you're having a really, really good day. I'd love to know what you're doing today. I'd love to know your experiences. If you've had an unexpected experience today, how you did. Did you win? Did you are you proud of yourself for something that you've done today? If you've ordered something or said something where you may potentially be where you thought you would have stammered on a word, but you actually said the word and you were just like brilliant. Or, or if you're just having a day where you're not fluent, and I know what it's like, and you don't really feel like talking, or you feel bad, and you don't need to. Just let us know what what your day's like. And I think talking about it and this thing beating yourself up is just not the way to go. So please don't do that. Please feel free to message, and just talk about it. So I'm glad I got this video out. Thank you those who watched. I'd love a thumbs up, that'd be amazing. Sub to the channel would also be great. There's no no obligation to do that. It would just be really, really nice, and it really helps with the algorithm, and basically just to get stammering out there to everybody. So likes would be amazing. Yeah, so let's just get talking about stammering. Thank you for watching, and of course I will see you probably tomorrow. Take care.